A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a surprising move that has sent shockwaves through international trade circles, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a staggering 50% tariff on Brazilian imports. This decision comes on the heels of accusations against Brazil's leftist leadership, particularly targeting President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva for allegedly orchestrating a witch hunt against Trump's ally, former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro. Trump, in a letter addressed to Lula, expressed his discontent over Bolsonaro's ongoing trial, which revolves around allegations of plotting a coup following the 2022 elections he lost. The trial is seen by many, including Trump, as politically motivated and unwarranted. Historically, Trump has directed his tariff policies towards countries with which the United States maintains a negative trade balance. However, Brazil does not fit this mold, as the U.S. has enjoyed a trade surplus with Brazil for nearly 2 decades. Analysts suggest that Trump's decision is more rooted in ideological support for Bolsonaro, often referred to as the Trump of the tropics, rather than economic rationale. Political scientist Leonardo Paz from Brazil's Getulio Vargas Foundation remarked that Bolsonaro's trial has gained prominence, prompting Republican lawmakers to escalate the issue within the White House. Adding to the complexity, Eduardo Bolsonaro, the former president's son, has relocated to the United States to lobby for greater pressure on Brazilian authorities regarding his father's trial. Lula has accused Bolsonaro's son of complicating diplomatic relations, leading to an investigation by Brazil's Supreme Court into whether his actions constitute obstruction of justice. The tensions have escalated further, with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio hinting at potential sanctions against Justice Alexandre de Moraes, a key figure in Brazil's judiciary who has consistently opposed Bolsonaro. Moraes has been at the center of numerous clashes with right-wing figures and has been vocal in combating online disinformation, even taking measures against platforms like Elon Musk's X. In his correspondence with Lula, Trump criticized Brazil for what he termed unfair trade practices and alleged censorship directed at U.S. media platforms by Brazil's judiciary. This claim comes in the wake of recent regulatory measures imposed by the Supreme Court, which have heightened accountability for social media platforms concerning user-generated content. Notably, the court had previously suspended Musk's X platform for failing to adhere to court orders aimed at curbing disinformation. The situation has prompted the São Paulo Federation of Industries to call for a measured response to Trump's tariffs, emphasizing that the motivations behind these tariffs are not strictly economic. Lula has indicated that Brazil is prepared to respond reciprocally, despite Trump's warnings of further escalatory measures. Moreover, the recent BRICS summit held in Brazil added another layer of complexity to the situation. The group, which includes China, Russia, and India, expressed its opposition to Trump's tariffs, labeling them as indiscriminate. Lula took a firm stance, asserting the sovereignty of BRICS nations and rejecting any notion of subservience to external powers, particularly in light of the narrative that portrays the bloc as anti-Western. Behind the scenes, Brazilian officials have been engaged in negotiations with the U.S. to mitigate the fallout from Trump's tariff war. An insider from Lula's team suggested that Trump's aggressive stance may be motivated by unease regarding the growing influence of BRICS, which collectively represents a significant portion of the global population and economic output. As the situation unfolds, the implications of Trump's tariffs extend beyond trade and into the realm of international diplomacy, raising questions about the future of U.S.-Brazil relations and the broader geopolitical landscape. The world watches closely as both nations navigate this complex and contentious issue, with potential ramifications that could reshape trade dynamics in the Americas and beyond. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.